So I do want to talk about alternative dairy products because this is getting very prominent as well. We're seeing certified humane, we're even seeing grass-fed dairy now. And unfortunately, some of the same horrors that happen to dairy cows in conventional production still happen on these alternative farms. Artificial insemination, which I'm not going to get into much detail here, but if you're curious, you can go to YouTube and watch videos, and it is, it's, these animals don't breed naturally anymore. They are, unfortunately, well, the males are, masturbated to retrieve the sperm, and then it is inseminated into the females, and it is all just disgusting, honestly, and just really a sexual violation of these animals. Babies are taken away at birth. They're sick animals that are not treated for diseases, and I'm going to talk a little about that. And they all end up at the same slaughterhouse. There's no humane certified slaughterhouse. They all end up at the same slaughterhouse, and it's brutal. So over here on the left, this is what we want to believe is happening in these organic and alternatively labeled farms. We want to believe that the babies can stay with the moms, that they're in the grass, that they've got out in the sunshine and being able to be with each other. That is not the reality. The reality is on the right. The babies are taken away as soon as they're born. This little baby is still wet with her birth fluid. She's been taken away from her mom so early. And I know it's a female. She is a female because she's being put into a calf hutch. And these calf hutches are these kind of a doghouse like plastic hutch where they're separated from each other, from the other calves, separated from their moms. I mean, what does a baby want? What does a baby desire? The love and comfort of their mother. They're scared, they're frightened, they're alone, and these babies never have that beautiful connection of being with their moms. They're just constantly frightened. So again, in Sonoma County, California, there is a lot of humane dairy operations as well. And it's interesting because cows are not as easy to hide as a chicken. Chickens are much easier to hide, but cows are not. They're much bigger. They have to move them around the farm. They have to separate the moms, the babies into different barns and, move them to the milking parlors. So you see the cows. So they have a different strategy out front of their farms. And what you see are signs like this: certified humane and certified organic and real California milk. Here's some more. You see these signs up and down the west coast of Sonoma County. And I'm realizing that I might be bouncing because I've got this on a lap desk. So I'm going to try to hold a little stiller. I hope I'm not bouncing all over the place. Okay. So when you get a little closer, when you actually go onto the farm, this is what you see. And this is rows and rows and rows of these calf hutches where these babies are separated out from their moms. They're frightened, they're sad, they're alone. This particular picture I took when a farmer allowed us to take a tour of a farm. And it was very interesting. He was very proud of his operation, although all these newborn babies were completely without their moms and in these tiny little areas. But there was straw, and that is not typical. I think that the straw was put there for our benefit. I have seen others where they're just in mud, and I'll show you a picture of that. So you often see, now this is when I wasn't on a tour and I just kind of went onto the farm myself to look around, and you see animals in muck and manure. And this one on the right, this image that I took on the right, this is a little baby, a newborn calf curled up. You can just see him next to that concrete feeder. And I believe this was a male. because he was separated from the females. The females were over in the calf hutches, and he was here all alone, just curled up, in the mud, and probably awaiting his death. Either the farmers would kill him, or he would be shipped off to veal or beef, because once again, the males are useless. They don't give dairy. They don't produce milk. So they're useless. You also see injured animals. Now, this is a cow. I wish so much that I had taken video of this cow. I didn't at the time, but that back left leg was so swollen, swollen many more times the other, maybe 2 or 3 times the other feet. And she was limping terribly on this back leg. She could barely walk on this back leg. So you see injured animals all the time. And something else that happens in organic dairy is mastitis. So mastitis happens in all dairy. In commercial, conventional dairy farming, cows get an infection of the udder called mastitis, and it's very painful. The udder can swell. There can be open sores, very painful for her to be milked. And the farmers on conventional operations will give the cows pharmaceuticals and antibiotics to clear up the infection, right? Well, in organic dairy, one of the only stipulations is that the animals are drug-free. And so they're unable to give them, not that they're unable, they can't, through the organic regulations, give them antibiotics and medications. I had a veterinarian, when I was researching my book, I had a veterinarian confide in me that he saw cows with the worst cases of mastitis, in severe pain at milking, when it was on an organic farm, when it was organic. He said that he had never seen that before in his 50 years of doing the work. Just in the last 10 years on organic farms, he was seeing cows suffering more with mastitis. So here's a situation where these labels can be even worse for the animals. All right. So I do want to talk about goat dairy as well, because a lot of people are thinking that goat dairy is a better solution, that it's more humane and smaller scale and all that. Well, unfortunately, we see the same kind of situations and the same kind of suffering in goat dairy. This is a picture of Deb Bloom, who is the founder of Goatlandia Sanctuary. It's a goat sanctuary in Northern California. And I'm on the board of directors, actually, of Goatlandia. And Deb, this is little Tucker that is with Deb in this picture. And I want to tell you Tucker's story. So Tucker was born at a dairy operation in Northern California, and it was a very small operation. It was just a husband and wife and maybe a few employees. And there was a doe on the farm who was having a difficult birth. Tucker's mom was having a difficult birth. So they took her to UC Davis Medical Clinic, veterinarian emergency clinic. And the vets there helped her to give birth to twins, a little girl and a little boy, little female, little male. And as soon as the male was born, the dairy owners said, you can just euthanize him. We don't want him. We don't need him. And the vet was shocked. I mean, here, they had just worked very hard to bring this little, perfectly healthy male goat into the world. And, this owner was just like, we don't need him. He doesn't give milk. And so the vet was kind of horrified and said, okay, whatever. And they left. And she just couldn't do it. She couldn't euthanize this perfectly healthy baby male. So she found Goatlandia, and she found Deb, and Deb drove all the way to Davis and picked up little Tucker and bottle fed him. And Tucker is happy and healthy and living out his life freely and without suffering at Goatlandia. But unfortunately, his brothers are being killed by the hundreds, by the thousands in goat dairy. And some are kept for breeding, but they only need a small number of bucks for breeding. One buck can breed about 100 does. So because of the artificial insemination. So they just don't need that many. And so many are killed. And this is with certified organic, this is with humane, it doesn't matter. The baby males are killed in cow and goat dairy.